How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Spy Family episode review recap. Today's episode is episode 19, entitled Revenge Plot Against Desmond / Mama Becomes the Wind. Before I go any further, please move them fingers like the wind and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below, and please subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this one. So I'm in a unique position. Just pull back the veil so you can see my machinations. I usually have another, mobile device where I put notes down. Unfortunately, that is out of commission for the moment, so a laptop it is. I would like to know in the comment section down below, how do you guys like taking notes by hand? Do you do it on computer? I used to do tons of notes by hand. I have at least over 100 pages that I need to throw away, but yeah. So, another thing to note, a more important thing to note other than my process, it's interesting. This is episode 19. I think we're going to stop at 24 for this first season because this is part 2. So that means there's 5 more episodes to part 2. Feels like we just started. It really, really does. I can't see them making season 1 longer than that, especially since Studio Clover and Wit, they're trying to not put a lot of pressure on their animators, which is good. Burnout is real, especially in Japan. So we set the tone. It's at night. Sometime last month at the Gluman. It's the name GLOO man, the Gluman pharmaceutical building. Someone, comes to greet Mr. Gluman and offers his condolences and says, don't be like that. Gluman lost in the Desmond Corporation has going to force the pharmaceutical company under their wing. And he's like, I don't know how to tell my son. And what he doesn't know is his son is sitting right outside the door. By the by, he looks just like his son looks just like him. They have this square head, no eyebrows. He looks like if you could put a Frankenstein kid in anything, looks like a Tim Burton creation. So now it's apparently not a month later. We have Becky sweeping, and Becky and Anya are sweeping up the courtyard with other students and just talking. Becky even calls Loid her sweet Loid because they're happy the exam's over, and Anya's like, yeah, Papa's really strict. He's like a monster, and she is literally falling in love with Anya's dad, which is kind of cute, but we'll see how this goes. And then Damien comes in with his rolling sweep, and it made me laugh because, again, this is the voice of Tao Ren. I always want to call him Tao Ren Long, but Tao Ren from Shaman King. So him doing an attack like that was kind of funny to hear it in my ears. And it's just nothing but kick up dust, making Anya sneeze. And he's getting praise for the star he got. Everybody's just, all the other kids up in arms. And Becky's like, who would want to study at his house anyway? And Anya's like, I want to study at his house. And then the kid of Gluman, dude looks like a goon. I even said he looks like a goon. Georgie, but it's George, but they say Georgie Gluman. He goes up, says he has a dustpan for Desmond, and Anya can read his thoughts. Like he's saying, I hate you. I'm going to get you, Damien Desmond. And Anya is reading his mind that he is the one who used his allowance money to pay his butler to hire the spy. And Anya already knows about the spy because she read her father's mind. Obviously, she didn't say it in here, but it's obvious. That's where she got the information from. That is the spy Daybreak. And he was just wondering, how did he pass those exams when he paid for a spy to alter that stuff? And so, Becky's funny because she thinks that she goes to Anya, so what else do you like about Damien? And Anya's like, I don't know about that boy. She's like, you like somebody else, huh? And then she gives her a little bit of the lowdown of this guy. And she's just trying to figure out about Georgie. And she reads his mind that he plans on getting Damien expelled. So he throws a cigarette butt on the ground and says, Damien, you put the cigarette butt down here? Unbelievable. I'm going to go tell the teacher. And he goes to tell the teacher. And when Damien grabs his arm, he moves Damien's arm, much like how I hit this microphone, and punches himself to put himself on the ground. And this teacher comes up and he tells the teacher, Damien had this cigarette butt and then he punched me. And Ratface and Conehead go, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. And the teacher's like, you're his lackeys. You follow him. Why would I believe what you're saying? He's like, do you have anything to explain for this, Desmond? And Anya straight up just steps in like the hero she is and says, that didn't happen at all. He pushed himself on the ground, and gloomy face McGoonhead goes, oh, and then the teacher goes, oh, that's the girl that got a bolt on the first day. And it's so funny because Anya's eye, he says, it's as if her eyes see through everything. She has this, I love the facial expressions in this anime. The facial expressions are everything, and she just has this, just the weird eye look that she has. And he's like, she's bad news. My 30 years of teaching is telling me that. And then he just goes, you know what? Don't involve me with you guys at silly games, and walks off. I like that Anya is a delinquent without being a full delinquent. I mean, she did knock this kid out. He did deserve to get punched in the face. But I just love that her reputation makes everyone go, I ain't dealing with this, right? Not to mention her dad broke a table, and he doesn't even have super strength. And so Anya's like, I can't let second son get expelled. And then she thinks plan B has to be a go. And Becky comes up and is like, oh, you're so cool. I could squee. I guess the squee sounds kyong. And Anya's like, kyong? And your feelings got through to Damien. I could tell I bet he knows how you feel. And Damien's blushing up a storm. He's just like, I could take care of it myself. And Damien confronts Gloomface McGeorgie and grabs him and is like, all right, tell me what's going on here. And he tells him everything, the Damien Corporation taking over the Gloom Pharmaceuticals, and even I think it was Conehead or Ratface. One of them said, oh yeah, I thought I saw that on the news about that happening. And Damien's like, yeah, I'm sorry that's happening to you, but it has nothing to do with me. Even Becky agrees. Yeah, it has really nothing to do with him. Don't involve, even Damien's like, don't involve me with things that have to do with adults. And Gloomy Georgie is saying, well, if it wasn't for, your father crushing the corporation, I might not be in school here anymore. To which Damien says, before he said, don't get me involved in adult matters, he says my family wouldn't do that. His family isn't evil, which 50-50. But yeah, he says he's envious. You even got a star and you're popular. To which Ratface and Conehead go, hey, it's not his fault. It's your fault that you're unpopular and that you suck. And Anya thinks in her head, after, which is funny because Damien goes, whoa. He's like, hey. And Anya thinks, oh, and the groupies are also shitheads. And Georgie goes off and he's like, why am I even cleaning up for? You guys don't understand me. And he just starts throwing the leaves in the air, starts throwing them on the ground. And when Damien says, well, I can get you juice, and he's like, why would I want that? He's like, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. He goes, you know what? No, I'll take that juice. Then he says, well, since I'm not going to be here in school, I really wish I could have gotten the most expensive thing on the menu. And this kid is eating this stuff up. Like, the girls are making faces. They both just have funny faces on while he's doing all that. And he says, I wish I would have known what a star felt like on my chest, because I was trying to get in it. It's like, are you really pressing your luck here? And he lets him wear it. He's like, you better give that star back, right? And now they're back in the courtyard, and he's trying to figure out other stuff as he's enjoying the feel of the star that they should do. And he's like, of course, we're not going to have a Dalk. That's the currency, a dog to our name, and we're gonna be poor, and I'm gonna be sold into slavery, and I'm gonna be kidnapped, and I'm gonna be forced to be in the West. And then Anya comes up and pats him on the shoulder and goes, the West isn't so bad. They wouldn't treat you like that. And she thinks to herself, Papa and important lady are really nice. She has her blush face on by the mind. That's the same blush face she had on at the end of last episode when Loid was like, thinking, oh man, she did it on her own. I'm proud of her. Hey, you barely passed. And she's like, you love me, which, come on, you love her. Anyway, he starts to recognize that everyone's being nice to him. And he starts crying. Like, actually, he's like, with the salt water coming from my face? And he says, actually, everybody, the one thing I really want is I was looking forward to the choir contest next month. I just wish I could just sing with everybody. And then Becky starts singing, going, la, 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 la. And she, la, 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 la. And Anya goes, Becky, you're not serious. Damien starts singing. Then everyone starts singing this generic ass la 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 song. And Anya's face is freaking hilarious because she's just like, is this really what we're doing here? And as the school day is coming to an end, the kid's walking out and Damien gives him his expensive school supplies and everybody's bringing him stuff. Someone gave him flowers. Someone gave him a watch. I read that. I read and heard someone gave him a watch and a bunch of other stuff. And Anya is so funny, so cute. She's like, here's a leaf I found on the side of the road. And he walks off and you get the anime ending with his face in the sky, all happy and whatnot. And later that day at the Forger house, Anya tells her parents what happened. And Yor's like, oh, that's so sweet. And Lloyd's like, yeah, but they're not going to fire everybody. They actually just absorb them. And it's actually beneficial for them. Like the Desmond group saved them. They just got bought out. And back at the company, Glooman is talking to Georgie and tells him all this. Like, yeah, the Desmond group, they really saved us. And, I was trying to figure out how to tell you, I won't be CEO anymore and it won't be called Glooman Pharmaceuticals, but, they're going to keep all the staff on board. And Georgie's like freaking out because he just realized that he had this tearful goodbye that isn't really a goodbye. He like drops a bag full of stuff. And so the next day, he walks in and everyone's whispering, just leering at him. And just leering at him. And his face is so red. And Becky has the funniest don't F with me face as she walked past him like, you better get back everything. And he's like, shh. Oh. And Damien goes, and you're going to pay me back for the juice that I got you. And Anya just walks up and just pats him on the shoulder. I love that Anya will try to make you feel better. Like, there, buddy. And that's just part one. So second part of this episode is Mama moves like the wind. Anya's asleep in her little PJs, adorable. Loid cracks the door and says, hey, Anya, time to get up. You're going to be late for school. Breakfast is already on the table, so wash your face and come on and eat. And she gets up, and we have all been there. She gets up. All right, I'm on my way. In her very cute voice, and passes right back out. And then she wakes. She's like, oh, I overslept. And so she has on her clothes, and she's just eating quickly and talking with her mouth full. And I love the subtle transition where it's like you're smiling because Yor loves this kid. She's smiling that she's eating and she's, getting ready for school. And then Lloyd's like, hey, don't talk with your mouth full. You can't keep forgetting things. You forget stuff, you're going to get 8 bolts and then you'll get expelled. So be careful, all right? And Yor's thinking, they're so strict. I think Yor was thinking a little bit too literal in this case, but don't worry, you see what I mean. So she did make it in time to get to the bus. And Lloyd's going to go to the hospital. But our dear Yor, she has a half day today. So she doesn't have to go in until the afternoon. She go back in. She cleans up. Bond, a.k.a. Mr. Borf, little, big white dog. He walks out of Anya's room kind of yawning. And she's like, oh, you had a little late start to your day too. And she's like, excuse me, Anya-san, just kind of, because her door's open, goes and just wants to look around like mamas do. And she looks on her desk and sees her uniforms, and she realizes she left her gym uniform there. And now she has in her mind Henderson, Mr. Elegant, saying that she's expelled for forgetting things too much. And Anya's like, shock, no. And there's a lollipop in the background with Anya dressed up like a delinquent and jumps on a tricycle. Remember those little three-wheelers we all had as kids? It's a big wheel. She imagines her on a big wheel trike riding off to be a delinquent. She's like, no, Anya-san, don't. I gotta get this to her. And Bong snaps her out of it with his borf, which I love that this dog doesn't go bark or wan, like the Japanese equivalent of bark. It goes borf. I love it. So she's going to deliver to Anya. She doesn't know how to get there. She's like, do I take the bus? Do I take the trolley? Just yours being adorable, Yor. And this woman, tell you how cool as shit Yor is. There's a lady who's looking at the TV and putting flower pots out. She sets one down. The wind blows one off. Yor catches it with one foot, does a handstand, and kicks the flowers back up and into the woman's hands. She looks down the alley, and she just books. She backflips and jumps. Her theme, this has to be her theme music, because the music with this that has lyrics, so badass. She's basically a superhero, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, on clotheslines. Even, I guess, some preschool kids are watching TV, and one kid catches a glimpse of her, and she's just running through. I even wrote "Go Yor Go" in my notes here. And so she makes it there, but she doesn't know where Anya is. She remembers that she's going to be in a different classroom day, and then she imagines again with Henderson going, you forgot, so you're out of here. And she's like, I can't ask anybody because she's going to get in trouble. So I'm going to have to sneak around and find her. Yor jumps up, there's an arch that the kids walk through, is on this arch and climbing like freaking Spider-Man. And I say freaking Spider-Man. I say Spider-Man because she scales the walls effortlessly. And then there's literally a rumor going around because there's a free period time, and these two boys are talking. One goes, the kids in class B said they saw this spider woman crawling around. Hiss, which I guess do spiders hiss? I guess they do hiss. I don't ever want to find out if spiders hiss. I don't ever want to find that out. I'm gonna knock on wood. I don't ever want to find that out. But he hisses, which is hilarious. And the other kid goes, don't be stupid. Of course there's no. And Yor's outside the window with her crazed look. Y'all remember the look she had when it was time for her to learn how to cook? You all know the Yor look. Her hair all in her mouth and her face, and she's and the little ping pong, the little thing says, is looking for Anya. The kid's like, Spider Woman, and she hides. She's like, I can't let anybody see me. And so she's moving about and she's thinking, I'm going to have to do a disguise. And so she thinks, first of all, Yor disguised as a teacher. Really good look. But then she imagines all the kids coming up to her, asking her stuff. She's like, I can't do that. And she's walking past the farm, the Eden, the school. This freaking school has its own farm, if you remember. And she recognizes the bull from the entrance exam that she had to knock out. And it's crazy because the bull recognizes her. He bows to her, but he accidentally steps on the pig's tail. Then the pig gets mad and bites him. And then there's a fight going on. She's like, I need to leave. Meanwhile, as she's saying she needs to leave, Loid is on the rooftops doing what Loid does. Infiltrate and spying and checking on things. He's like, what is Yor doing here? And then this man thinks, he goes, maybe she knew that I was lying about heading to the hospital and she's come here to track me down. He's like, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. There's something in her hand. Well, as she's moving about, which, Loid, you are ridiculous. As she's moving about, she barely misses Anya. Anya's walking with Becky, and she looks in the window as she goes back, and Anya's reading her mind. She's hearing her say, where's Anya-san? Where's Anya-san? So she's just following the thought trail, and they bump into each other. She's like, Mama, Anya-san. She says, shh. Grabs her and pulls her around the corner and says, hey, you forgot your gym uniform stuff. And Anya looks at the Jimmy one, looks at her, and then makes another funny face. The one, it's like the half eyes with. If you watch the show, you know. And she makes another face. She goes, Anya didn't forget it because we don't have gym class today. And she shocked, and she's on her hands and knees, and she's like, oh no. She's like, I made a stupid mistake, and Anya just goes and pats her on the shoulder. This is freaking I love the Anya console pat. And so she's leaving on the way back home. Loid catches up with her and says, oh, it's Yor. And she's like, oh, Loid, what you doing here? Well, I had a house call for another patient that's recovering, and I'm just on my way back. I saw you over here. What's going on? And she explains that she, grabbed the wrong thing, thought that Anya had left, and he's like, huh. Second thought, I guess I didn't really need to approach her and ask her what was going on. Yeah, Loid, why would you do that as opposed to being the spy and just following her and figuring out what happened? I'll tell you why in 1 second. So she goes, I'm a failure as a mother. She looks super sad. He's like, oh no, this depression could ruin the mission. And even my notes, sure, Loid, sure it can. He says, you know what? Don't say that. That's not true. Hey, I'm about to go get some lunch right now. Why don't you come with me? And she happily agrees to go with him. And even my notes I wrote, I wish you two would just hurry up and kiss. Just smooch. Just kiss. Please. Adorable, of course. Why didn't you tell her? Because the last time you didn't trust her, you felt bad about it. And of course, you're just going to ask her straight up because you love her. You love her. And she loves you. Y'all love each other as much as Anya loves you all. I just paid attention to the ending theme. I didn't realize that Anya dances. Like after the whole dinner part, you can tell Loid's telling her, be careful while she's dancing. She's dancing the whole way through. It's very cute. Next time, Love Triangle Girl is going to show up. Frankie's going to look at boobs. Mission 20. Infiltrating the hospital or something like that. You guys will get the full title next week. But yes, I enjoyed this. This was cute. This was fun. This was interesting to get more in-depth look at some of Anya's classmates. Because now she's getting in good with Damien over here, defending him. So maybe he'll stop being a shithead to her and start being nicer. And we get to see more of superhuman Spider-Woman Yor. All in all, I would give this a 4 out of 5. This wasn't. What's funny? This show's average is actually really good. Like an average. The only way this show could be like average for itself is if the comedy wasn't hidden, right? The comedy is on all cylinders. The stuff is funny. The facial expressions of the characters, when you pay attention to the whole scene, there's so much going on, but not in an overwhelming way, in a very lovely, detailed way. Love it so much. Love it. 4 out of 5 from me. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. So we're coming up on that milestone 20. I'm going to predict 4 more episodes. Maybe they'll do 25. 24, 25. So there's either 4 or 5 episodes left. I'm going to look that up and I will let you guys know next week. I probably might forget it, but I will let you know next week how many episodes are left. Yeah, you know what? No, that's not true. I'm just going to let you know down there, probably in the comment section. So pay attention and stay frosty. As always, guys, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me talk about the animes that give life on a Saturday. Please, again, hit the like button. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified of more videos just like this. And I thank you once again. Please be good, be blessed, wash those hands, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. Take care of yourselves out there. It is officially getting colder. It will some snow today, so that's going to be a thing very soon again. And as always, just realize there's somebody out there that cares about you and that wants to talk to you. There are people who would rather talk to you today than miss you and mourn you tomorrow. There's always someone to talk to. I always tell you guys to talk to me in the comments. Talk to me down in the comments. Talk to me on my social medias. All right. So without further ado, I will most definitely see you guys next time.